Good morning, everyone. My name is Sterling Higa, Chairperson of the Authority. I'd now like to call to order the March 5th, 2025 Kakaako Authority meeting of the Hawaii Community Development Authority. The time is now 11 a.m.
Thank you, Chair. In accordance with section 92-3.7 for a revised statute, the Hawaii Community Development Authority is holding today's Kakaako board meeting virtually on Zoom. The Zoom link details were included on the meeting agenda. Therefore, members of the public are welcome to join us on Zoom and also at our physical meeting site at the American Brewery Building, 547 Queen Street, second floor, boardroom, Honolulu, Hawaii, 96813. The HCDA communications staff is hosting this meeting. Once this meeting begins, everyone will be muted for clear audio. Board members, if you have any comments or questions, please unmute yourselves to speak. It is important that all individuals clearly state their name, pseudonym, or other identifier name each time prior to speaking. If you wish to provide oral testimony and you are attending virtually, please indicate so by clicking the raise hand button found on your Zoom screen. If you are attending in person, you'll be called to the front of the room in the order that you signed up. All testimony will be limited to a maximum of 3 minutes. Your testimony must be related to an item on the agenda. Before you begin your testimony, we ask that you identify yourself and spell your name for the record. When 1 minute is remaining, 1 minute remains will be called out, and when 30 seconds is remaining, 30 seconds remaining will be called out. When time has elapsed, time will be called out, after which you have 30 seconds to conclude your testimony. Then your audio will be turned off. If you are attending in person, the presiding officer will call the next testifier. Keep in mind, this is an opportunity to share your thoughts with us. If you ask questions during your testimony, neither the board nor the staff is required to provide an answer. If the authority's connection for the remote meeting is lost, the meeting will be recessed until the connection is restored. If the connection cannot be restored within 30 minutes, the meeting will be terminated and the authority will continue the meeting at another notice date. Thank you. Chair.
Thank you, Craig. HCDA board members, please remain visible and audible during the meeting. Also, please acknowledge you are present by either saying here or present. Let the record reflect that the following members are present. Vice Chair Ishii. Here. Thank you, Secretary Ludstone.
Here.
Thank you, Member Miranda Johnson.
Here.
Thank you, Member Anderson is excused. Member Evans.
Here.
Thank you, Member Streitz.
Here.
Thank you, Member China.
Here.
Thank you, and Member Sakota.
Here.
Thank you. We have quorum. 8 present. Thank you. For today's meeting, board members will have an opportunity to ask questions or provide comments after an agenda item has been presented. Individuals from the public who have requested to provide verbal public testimony on a specific agenda item are on standby and will be permitted to provide their testimony respectively. Moving now to agenda item number 2, approval of minutes. These are the regular meeting minutes of February 5th, 2025. Board members, are there any comments or corrections to these minutes? Seeing none, the minutes are approved as presented. Agenda item number 3, decision making. Consider authorizing the executive director to amend that certain lease dated March 4th, 2022 with Zimmer US Incorporated, a Delaware corporation, for store number 2124963-A, located at 610 Ward Avenue, Honolulu, Hawaii, and further described by TMK 2-1-049063, portions to extend the lease term by an additional year until June 30th, 2026, and increase the rent. Ms. Lindsay Doi, Asset Manager, will now present the staff report.
Thank you, Chair. Members, this is a fairly straightforward request before you today. It's to amend a lease that we acquired in the acquisition of the Block P3 parcel. That's the one with the Jack in a Box on it. This lease with Zimmer is on the kind of behind Jack in a Box portion of that parcel, and it's currently set to terminate at the end of June of this year. Given that we're still looking at the development potential for that lot and future development plans, we are requesting a 1-year extension at this time to make sure that we still, keep that parcel activated, we keep revenue coming in, we can keep it secure. With that 1-year extension, though, we would include the special termination provision, which currently is in their lease. that would allow us to terminate for any reason, such as when we're ready to develop that parcel with 6 months notice to the tenant. We actually would propose reducing that to 90 days, so 3 months. Right now it is a 6 month, but although we do feel that we would give them obviously the longest lead time possible, we would just propose reducing it just to have that flexibility. As is standard, we are proposing a 3% rent increase for that additional 1 year term, which Zimmer is amenable to. There is one other element that Zimmer did request, which is a brokerage commission. So you see that there in your staff report and in their request letter. It would be equivalent to 2 months gross rent or just over about $11,000. That typically is not something that HCDA pays for. It hasn't been procured since we did not select this broker to represent the lessee. But nonetheless, you know, that is something that they are requesting with this for action. Staff, of course, is not recommending that, but that is for the board to decide on. I think, do we have I'm not sure if we have anyone online from Colliers or the lessee, but I can answer any questions if you need further clarification.
Great, thank you, Ms. Lindsay Doy. Members, any comments or questions for staff?
Chair,
We'll go with Member Evans and then we'll go with Member Schreitz. Member Evans.
Lindsay, on the request to pay a brokerage commission, is that the result of the sale to HCDA? No.
No, so that actually has, it's just a request, I believe, from the broker, so Colliers. It may be something typical that they do in their other leases, you know, in representing the lessee. It's not something that we, HCDA, has done, at least in my experience here. So they included it in their letter, requesting the extension, but I did note that that's not something we typically do. But you know, it does remain in their letter.
So would you guess that Colliers would, every year that there was a 1 year lease extension, Colliers would ask for a brokerage commission?
No, they are representing Zimmer, so I think in their representation with Zimmer, they would typically charge Zimmer something. And maybe this is something that Zimmer would normally pay them, so perhaps they're looking at an alternate source to fund that fee. But like I said, this is not something that we anticipate or recommend paying. So this would be between them and Zimmer.
Did you observe an active participation on the part of Colliers in the request for a 1 year extension?
So we reached out to the tenant to ask if, you know, they were interested. Since I saw that the lease was coming up in June, I asked, you know, do you want to extend beyond that? The person to respond to me was Colliers. So I did correspond with them via email, you know, really just in that capacity. They prepared this letter on behalf of the lessee, but we, you know, didn't hire or engage them to do any of that.
Okay. All right. Chair, that satisfies my interest in what what services Colliers was attempting to collect a two month commission on. And I would then agree with staff that that the interaction didn't arise to the level that where you might even give consideration to such a request. Thank you, Chair.
Yes, thank you, Member Evans. Member Stritens, you had a question.
Yeah, it was along those lines too. So I think you answered it. It was just seeing that it was a lease extension that kind of piqued my interest in that amount.
Me too.
Great, thank you, Member Strites. Members, any other comments or questions? Just for the record, I would concur with Member Evans and the staff that we should not be paying this brokerage fee. If Colliers wants to collect it, they are more than welcome to collect it from their client Zimmer. Seeing no other comments or questions from members, we'll now move to public testimony. Do we have any persons pre-signed up for testimony on this matter? Any online wishing to testify? In person wishing to testify? Seeing none, we will close. Oh, sorry. There is somebody online? Okay,
No.
oh, there's a Kala Foundation, so could be Kala Foundation. You should be able to unmute yourself to testify. You have 3 minutes.
Hi, aloha. Can you guys hear me?
Loud and clear.
Go ahead.
Hi, aloha. My name is Clint Kalaola with Kala Foundation. We were emailing with Kathleen, and she had asked if we could attend this month's March board meeting in regards to the notification for the upcoming King Kamehameha celebration floral parade happening on June 14th. I didn't see it on the agenda, but she did ask us to attend, so I'm not sure whether or not it's something that you guys can be heard right now.
Sorry, can we get some clarification? What meeting are you trying to testify on? This is a Hawaii Community Development Authority meeting?
Correct, with the Kakaako neighborhood?
I think he's referring to Kathleen Lee, who's the chair of the Olawana Kakaako.
Okay, got it, okay, sorry.
What is the reason that she encouraged you to attend?
Part of our permitting process is our notification to all boards in the area where the
I
parade
see,
route.
I see, got it.
Okay, should it be email correspondence?
Yeah, I think.
Okay, would you mind putting your email address in the chat and then staff can contact you for that?
Absolutely.
Present to the neighborhood board.
Yeah, and then staff can follow up with you via email.
Sounds good.
Thank
Great,
you.
thank you.
Sorry.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Any other members of the public wishing to testify? Okay, seeing none, we will move to close public testimony. Members, any comments or questions before I request a motion? Seeing no comments or questions, is there a motion for the board to authorize the executive director to amend that certain lease dated March 4th, 2022 with Zimmer US Incorporated, a Delaware corporation for store number 2124963-A, located at 610 Ward Avenue, Honolulu, Hawaii, and further described by TMK 2-1-049-063, portions to extend the lease term by an additional year until June 30th, 2026, increase the rent by 3%, and undertake all tasks necessary to effectuate the purpose of this for action. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Member Evans, seconded by Vice Chair Ishii, right?
Yes.
Perfect, thank you. On the motion made by Member Evans and seconded by Vice Chair Ishii, any further discussion? Seeing none, I will ask Lindsay to take the roll call vote.
Members, the motion has been made and seconded. On that motion, Member Evans,
Aye.
Vice Chair Ishii,
Yes.
Secretary Lidstone,
Aye.
Member Miranda Johnson,
Yes.
Member Streets,
Yes.
Member China,
Yes.
Member Sakota,
Yes.
and Chair Higa.
Yes.
Motion passes with 8 in favor and 1 excused. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Lindsay. We'll move now to the report of the executive director, monthly report and other status reports, including approved permit applications that did not require HRS 206E-5.6 public hearings. Executive Director Nakamoto will now provide the monthly report.
Thank you, Chair. Just want to direct the board members to the Executive Director report in tab 3 of the packet. And I just wanted to, highlight a couple of things. on February 8th, we held the blessing and the blessing for the Kolowalo Dog Park and the other improvements. Chairperson Higa and Secretary Lidstone attended the opening. I think it was a great event to mark the opening of the dog park. We continue to kind of work through some of the final punch list items and other things on the dog park and ask the contractor to come back and fix a few things. We're also just trying to get a feel for the grass and the right watering schedule and all those things. So it's just kind of a adjustment to that. And then some other corrective action things we need to take on the dog park, but still a very well-used dog park, as I could see. Just a lot of good feedback that I'm getting from it. We are unfortunately having experiencing some events of vandalism to the park. And I've alerted Olo Police Department, the commander for the district, to be aware, but unfortunately, we are experiencing some of that we are having to deal with. But again, very positive thing for the community and definitely something that the community appreciates a lot.
Thank you, Executive Director. Members, any comments or questions? Seeing none, I just want to offer congratulations, Craig and the whole team, for the dog park, attending with Secretary Lidstone the opening. It was wonderful to see so many people there excited to enjoy the park. My wife obviously continues to take our baby girl to the park there, and when they are at the park, they look across the street and they see many people enjoying the park with their pets. So great job to the staff on the park.
Yeah, and thank you for the board for supporting all that and area legislators as well.
Awesome. Okay. Wow. Members, any other comments or questions? Seeing none, thank you to those who joined us on Zoom or in person for this even more efficient meeting. That concludes our business for today. The meeting is adjourned. The time is 11:17 a.m. And we will reconvene at 11:30. So that's a 13-minute. Thank you.